Nowadays, any product you can take, it may be electrical, electronic, or all the products are high. How? Because before customer thinks, the inventors who are product manufacturers, they are thinking about the customer. Earlier, customer asked for the product. Now the producers give the product. So giving the product is sales for certain value. Marketing is the one which I have to think beyond your requirements. See, nowadays you take any industry, they are like mothers only. They are thinking about the customer, उनका क्या नया चीज दे दो. So उस हिसाब से उन्हें खुशी हो जाएगा.
The psychology of the customer has evolved, changed over a period of time.
Yes, like that. Nowadays, customer affordability more is there. Like you have spoken about sales and marketing. You cannot be a successful sales and marketing without good customer service. I am telling a very simple example. Like that, many industries are there. Why they are successful after 100 years, 50 years? You take any brand, some of the brand, Fortune 500, anything, they are going there for last 100 years, still they are successful. This small difference only. That is the base for the sales and marketing. Nowadays, customers are expecting this more than the money. Fact owner, no, you cannot be proud of yourself with the yesterday's achievement. Today, what you are going to something new to the customer. 89 meters, more than that, what you want? He is having the pain, he is having this one. But somebody simply thrown 92 meters. So like that, the product also. This is the challenge this new generation is facing. More than the multinational companies, street vendors are, I will say that, professionals. Because by seeing the face, they understand. Because by car, if you come, how to speak to you. By walk, if you come to you, whom to give free of cost, whom to give extra money, whom to negotiate, like that. Between 10 kilometers, if you go, your time, energy is the cost more. Energy of the vehicle or energy of yours. That is the reason the evaluation has happened, the door delivery, everything has happened. Now everything is available. But the same customer, in the morning, he is buying something through Blinkit, something through Amazon, something through Flipkart. Evening, he will be buying something through some other app. So 6-7 app he has seen, 6-7 product delivered his home. So the same person coming to office, he is buying your product.
Let's welcome Dr. Sachin Kadam. He is the COO of the Sathi facility under DST program.
Hello everyone, this is Dr. Shireshna Mukherjee. Presently I am working as an assistant professor in the Department of Physiology, Health and Allied Sciences, Amity Institute of Health Allied Sciences, Amity University, Noida. Past 2 years I have been working on cancer immunology, cancer biology, cell signaling, and also we prioritize on women health issues. And today I am here to talk about women's health and why we need to prioritize it.
What is women health in a nutshell for you?
I would be saying that it's my overall well-being. My physical, my mental, my societal, my environment, where I am working, where I am staying. So everything must be in order so that I am in order. The lady should take care of herself when they want to take care of the others before taking care of themselves. But I would suggest that women should take care of themselves so that they can look after the people. We all know what menarche is. It's the first period that happens, right? So the age of menarche has changed. So menarche, the hormones were starting to be secreted at a little later phase. But now from 9-10, it's starting to work. So we found that this menarche poses a great problem on their men. We found that 50 to 60% of women who suffer from PCOS, they have anxiety disorders.
What is grossly everyone is doing?
A decade back, eating outside, going to the restaurants, eating outside was not there.
What is PCOS and PCOD?
The easiest way to distinguish between PCOS and PCOD is PCOS is reversible. Recently I was talking about a survey that we did, right? So we found that mostly the PCOS patients, they were teenagers who had fertility issues, then cancer again because hormonal pills and everything that people are taking, they can lead to breast cancer, cervical breast cancer, ovarian cancer, endometrial cancer. So it was found that the nurses who work night shift, they are more prone to gynecological cancers.
how efficient do you think our human body is?
Compared to male physiology, woman physiology is more complicated.
Like for young girls, what should be your advice?
The most important thing, if they are sensing something is wrong, they should definitely come up with that. It's very important to speak. Few days back, I saw in the newspapers, Times of India, that NGO are talking about menstrual hygiene in Mahakumbh. They are being made like Padman or things. So I think in the next few years, there might be. So we found that there are some basic symptoms of PCOS, like
Bioinformatics makes a wonderful career.
And bioinformatics is a tool, whereas a computational biology is a discipline. So many students think that, okay, bioinformatics is not their cup of tea. But we wanted to bridge that particular gap through that particular your passport to career in bioinformatics.
If I am a master's student, how can I be a part of this?
Today, we boast to have about 9,500 members, and we have mentored over 4,000 graduate students who are placed in 43 different countries. We usually educate masses. We share a lot of information. Probably one of the largest bioinformatics societies in the world, actually.
Bioinformatics and the 3 C's of research.
I would always correlate science with respect to the mentor-mentee program, and I would always equate this with to the war of Kurukshetra. There is something called Trikarna Shuddhi.
A bioinformatics market, hype or hope?
Bioinformatics एक नया word है, but bioinformatics is a tool. Computational biology is a discipline, or systems biology is a discipline. And please don't equate these particular terms to only to those particular people who are programmers. Thought that our major agenda is to do some exciting science, take research, listen to our mentors, learn to earn, ensure that the science that we speak should be taken up to the next level. The student community, they don't want to do any kind of research, even if they want. You'll be surprised to know that the recent 40 graduates whom we have produced at Amrita School of Biotechnology, none of them have taken up bioinformatics PhD yet. And they're not interested. I feel very sorry, tears roll down my cheeks when I hear this kind of an episode, looking into, I don't know where our country is really headed, towards this. Maybe, the current generation have to honor these kind of commitments in a better way. Yeah.
Bioinformatics career in academia versus industry?
At an early career level, academia is bogged with publications, and probably people think that, okay, either you need to publish or perish, but not perform or perish. The government is funded by and large a large amount of money, but there are no good researchers in government. That kind of disparity exists yet. And that is probably one of the reasons why academia is slowly moving towards academia-industry collaboration. Indian granting system is now collaborating with the industrial counterparts, where the industrial service providers have to provide some kind of conflict of interest. This is the most idiotic thing that we are currently experiencing. That is a gross injustice to an open access researcher, an open source researcher like me. If that is not there, I'm afraid that we are doing a gross injustice to science and also to Ma Saraswati.
So my name is Krishna Milnathar. I'm an assistant professor here at Ashoka University with a joint appointment in the biology and psychology departments. We study sleep and plasticity using the fly Drosophila, and we're primarily interested in a couple of different aspects. One is how does sleep actually promote plasticity in learning, and the second is how is sleep itself plastic, how it's modified in response to different kinds of challenges, different kinds of things that a fly might encounter during its life and so on.
What is sleep?
It's not actually an easy thing to define at all, because at a very, at a fundamental level, like an elemental level or a molecular level, we don't have an understanding of what sleep is.
Sleep has types or categories?
We ask humans who sleep, so I should, re-emphasize that, because not everybody is necessarily familiar with this idea. But really, it's a picture that's changed a lot in the last 20 years or so. So, about 20 years back, it was very kind of human, meaning-centric view of sleep. And that largely came from our own personal experience, right? Because you have this very vivid experience of, falling asleep and coming out of sleep. Pretty clear that pretty much all animals sleep. Even with 300 neurons, you can generate sleep. Humans, we can differentiate non-REM sleep into different stages. So, for example, babies will have a lot more REM sleep. They sleep a lot in general, and then the proportion of REM sleep is also higher. They tend to spend a lot of time in bed trying to sleep, obsessing about sleep, but not getting it. So instead, what they say is you restrict your opportunity. Say, I will give myself only this time to this time. So if I wake up, get up, go out. Amazingly, this CBTI seems to work even in the fly. Okay?
What type of sleep is important?
REM sleep is also very important. Very interesting things are happening in REM sleep, and you don't get as much replay, but you get a lot of dreaming. And REM sleep seems to be particularly important for creativity. For example, if you give people a bunch of words, a doctor, a nurse, stethoscope, ECG, and so on, everything except the word hospital. People that if you disrupt REM sleep, for example, they don't do so well at that just word.
Who dream a lot? The creative people?
Right, creative people maybe can put things together, put disparate pieces of information together in interesting ways.
So there is something called deja vu.
And the vu, I think it's people who have sleep apnea are unable to breathe well. So if you have really severe apnea, if you snore a lot, don't ignore this at all. Means, they tried this drug and then it seemed to induce hallucinations in recovering drug addicts in a clinical trial. So they pulled the drug, Merck pulled this drug from the market because of that problem of hallucinations in drug addicts. Actually, our flies are not drug addicts, so we're okay. But
I am deprived of sleep, or a good sleep rather. Over a long period of time, my mental health is also going to be affected seriously.
Absolutely, your mental health is going to be affected. You're going to make poorer decisions.
Little bed, a little rise makes an unhealthy version. Is it true?
No, probably not.
How is it? Is emotion has a role there?
I don't think there's much evidence for that.
Today, we are joined by Dr. Indrani Datta, an additional professor in the Department of Biophysics, NIMHANS. What is this Parkinson's disease?
Parkinson's disease is a progressive neurodegenerative disorder which manifests mainly as movement disorder. So often it is predominated by these motor symptoms. However, with research, there's been immense number of non-motor symptoms such as hyposmia, constipation, sleep disturbances. It has been reported that they occur at an early stage of the disease. So by the time the clinicians get to diagnose, there is minimum of 60% death of dopaminergic neurons in the substantia nigra. Dr. Ravi Yadav, he is specialized in REM sleep disorder, and we also have a sleep clinic over here run by Professor Bindu Kutti. So places like NIMHANS, these can be evaluated, experts' opinion can be taken.
Yeah.
So even if the dopaminergic neurons are alive at an early onset, they can show a functional disturbance, a lessening of these dopamine release. I would say again over there, calcium imaging, electrophysiology through MIA are important parameters to state that indeed that those cells are showing a deficit for the dopaminergic neuronal function.
We are predisposed to genetic disease like this?
So genetic testing has been now been referred by clinician neurologists, even in India. Though the occurrence is much lesser than the idiopathic, but there are minimum of 14 genes which are identified now as at-risk genes, be it your LRRK2, alpha-synuclein, DJ1, Parkin1, PINK1, emphasizing it's a very complex disease and it's very heterogeneous. The heterogeneity is one of the reasons why many clinical trials are failing. For LRRK2 worldwide, especially funded by Michael J. Fox Foundation, there was good amount of studies being performed for LRRK2. iPSCs as model?
Yes.
No, it's still a little rare. Yeah.
In today's episode, we are excited to have with us Professor Roop Malik, a renowned expert in the field of motor protein.
We work on very tiny proteins called motor proteins. These are of the nanoscale. They allow things to be taken from one place to the other inside living cells. And we try to understand how these motor proteins and the transport that they bring about is important to degrade pathogens bacteria, virus, parasites inside immune cells of your body, and also how these motors are important to secrete fat, to release fat from the liver into your blood. We were interested in this particular one. It's called the dynein motor. We found a few years ago that it is able to work in large teams. If you take a certain number of these dynein motors, their function is proportional to their number. This is not necessarily true for other motor proteins. What we were then interested in understanding, okay, if nature has made this motor so that it can work in large teams, how do you assemble such teams?
Hello everyone, I am Mrityunjay Swar. I am the Director General for Research and Innovation at KIT University and the CEO of KIT Technology Business Incubator and also the Chairman of Bhubaneswar City Knowledge Innovation Cluster, which is an initiative of the Office of Principal Scientific Advisor to the Government of India. So what I do for the interest of the faculties, researchers, clinicians, I help them to build interesting proposals which are translational in nature, no more basic sciences. And also I help individuals or the group of individuals, those who come to us with right problem statements, we help them to take their ideas into enterprise. So promoting startup companies out of deep technology. And also we see that technology which are developed from various institutions of startup companies, this will not be on the shelf, how they can be deployed on the ground. So for that, we through cluster approach, we bring technology deployment program through Bhubaneswar City Knowledge Innovation Cluster.
How did you found your interest in biotechnology and how did you took it as your career?
If you really want to contribute in terms of innovations, in terms of experiments, biotech is a very quite exciting field. Biosciences, biotech, two are different things because your approach in biotech has to be how do you do good science to create a technology. And that's what in India, if you look at institutions, researchers, I know they're good in biosciences, but creating technology is a different ballgame altogether. So you do experiments not just to publish a paper, but you to create a new technology in terms of a product or a process or a service. Then when it gets commercialized, I call this as a biotechnology. Information, the bioethics policy, which is going to really give a boost to the manufacturing capabilities of Indian continent, in Indian continent for biotechnology. Today, a bachelor student who has passed bachelor's in biotech can apply for grant to funding agencies we have called a BIRAC, which is the BIRAC is an offshoot of DBT, which promotes innovations in the country and it gives money to an individual who is even young as a bachelor's pass. If they get selected, they get 50 lakhs of grant rupees, which was never happening earlier. So what you do to measure hemoglobin, you go to a hospital, you go to a diagnostic lab. Can I integrate AI/ML into the healthcare sector? Can I build a device with taking electronics help that if I don't take any blood, simply I take your fingertip, put it on a sensor, can it give me hemoglobin values? India is rising and signing on this, supporting several schemes to nurture innovations, especially in biotech sector, by various ministries, which I said. So incubators are people, an individual or a startup company who really works with an incubation center and they grow together. So they should not be affiliated to their academic organizations, but they have to be affiliated to the incubation center. And today I think we're almost close to more than 1,000 plus incubator.
Even the government initiative of Make in India has played a major role here.
Yeah, Make in India, Startup India, Invest India, all these platforms are helping. Incubation centers are an entity, an ecosystem, which brings a lot of expertise, which helps ideas to go to next level enterprise. First PSA to the Honorable Prime Minister of the Government of India was late Abdul Kalamji. And currently our PSA is Professor A.K. Sood, who advised the Government of India, especially the Honorable Prime Minister, on scientific things. Now under that office of PSA, they have established now 8 clusters. Chilika Lake has a weed species. Now Nalban is expanding in Chilika. Chilika is shrinking. But cluster says, this is a problem. How do you bring complementary expertise, including industry, academia, researcher, public, civil society, bureaucracy, local political group to resolve it under a clusters program. So gone are those days when only we were confined to do science with fellowship.
immensely honored to have a very distinguished guest, Professor Tony George Jacob from the prestigious All India Institute of Medical Sciences, New Delhi. So, as an evolution, why humans have been able to do that?
The concept of evolution is often misunderstood. The evolution itself from a four-legged creature to a two-legged creature would have also taken place in steps, in very, very gradual steps. And in those gradual steps, the ability to be able to be on 2 feet would have provided advantages to those individuals which allowed for them to reproduce far better than their co-creatures. You see that with cows also. They've got these huge bellies. And this huge belly is essentially associated with a raw vegetarian diet. Because you need a larger length of the gut to be able to digest it, and a large amount of the digestion is actually carried out by bacteria. The moment we discovered the utility of fire and the ability to pre-digest food with the help of fire, the length of the gut does not require to be the same.
Correct.
A flat tummy is because of a technological invention, and that is fire.
Correct.
In a lot of the tribal population is a sickle cell trait. And the sickle cell trait is something that provided some populations with a survival advantage.
Yes, yes.
And that survival advantage also malaria. And that is something that a lot of people do not understand about evolution. And therefore, when today they ask as to, has evolution stopped? It hasn't. There was this professor of ours who used to tell us that, there would come a time where a thumb is going to become so prominent because that is what people are using all the time. Whether it be for gaming consoles, whether it be for messaging or anything like that, most people are just doing this.
Yeah.
And therefore, this hand is going to evolve further.
Pollution in Delhi, does it have effect on the brain health?
And the moment your rate of respiration changes, suppose there was too much of pollution and you're not able to breathe properly, that creates a lot of washout, and that can affect the concentrations in the CSF as well. Like in Delhi, if you stay, you can be guaranteed that every end of October to beginning of December, you are going to be in a gas house.
Yeah.
In Nazi Germany, gas chambers would be operational only for a few hours and the people would be dead. Here we are in this operational gas chamber for nearly 1.5 months.
Yeah.
Now, what are going to be the effects of that? Probably another generation would be answering that question. And blood pressure is, especially in the bipedal animals that we are, is very important to pump that blood into the brain.
True.
So that 120 millimeters of mercury from the heart is very important to maintain the circulation of blood in the brain. The moment the pressure goes down, the brain's perfusion and its ability to get oxygen and blood nutrition also goes down. And therefore, it kind of starts shutting down. So one of the first things that we do when a person faints is to just check for their pulse and their BP to check as to whether they've got low blood pressure.
Okay.
And if they have low blood pressure, just keep them lying down. Never try to lift them up.
Can we maintain a good, healthy brain?
And if I tell you that a large amount of your brain is just fat and water, that means you should only be taking fat and water to maintain brain health. Now, no one in the world is going to tell you that that is a healthful diet. Person who had brain blindness, wherein the receptors and everything, the retina, the eye receptors and the pathways are fine, but there's a portion of the brain that died off or did not develop properly, and therefore they have a cerebral kind of blindness.